Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So, as we enter the last Shabbat this year and move into a new year, I have to ask, who here is making a New Year's resolution? Raise your hand. Anybody? Anybody making any New Year's resolutions? Okay, we've got a few. So, I looked, and there are some that are more common than others. So, this may or may not come as a surprise to some of you, but the most common New Year's resolutions, according to one source, Time Magazine. Number 1, lose weight and get fit. Number 2, quit smoking. Number 3, learn something new. Eat healthier. Save money. Spend more time with your family. Travel to new places. Be less stressed. Volunteer more. Do any of these resonate with the things that you are hoping for yourself in the new year? We all come to this new year, to 2023, with hopes and dreams and intentions. But as I was thinking about this new year, this 2023 year, I started thinking about all of the new years in our lives. This is the secular new year. This is our communities, what we celebrate with outside of our Jewish spaces. This is the secular new year with new intentions for a different kind of year. But we also celebrate different New Years in Judaism, and not only just one other one. Does anybody have a guess as to how many New Years we actually have in the Jewish calendar? Call it out, anybody? How many? 4. Joan got it right. 4. There are 4 New Years. Lourdes too? 4 New Years in the Jewish calendar. So of course there is the first of Tishrei, which we all know as Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah means the head of the year, the head of all of the years. So we use that as a time for introspection, and we celebrate the anniversary of the creation of the world on the first of Tishrei, on Rosh Hashanah. We also, know that we sound the horn, we hear the shofar, and it helps propel us into the new year on Rosh Hashanah. We all often talk about that as the new year. It is one of our holiest moments. But there are, in fact, 3 other New Years that are outlined in our calendar. The second New Year is actually coming up in February. Does anybody have a guess as to what it is? Tu B'Shvat, the 15th of Shvat, the New Year of the Trees. Now, the New Year of the Trees, we often talk about as an opportunity to celebrate trees and fruit and all that we do to care for the world. But in our tradition, it's even more than that. We actually are supposed to designate which fruits we should and should not eat. You're not actually supposed to eat in Jewish tradition the fruits for the first 3 years after you plant a tree to allow it time to grow and to mature. So you set aside those fruits as forbidden fruits. We also set aside fruit for tithing. And in the Ashkenazi world, there was a tradition to try and eat new fruits, 15 of them, in fact. And then in Mystic Sfat in 16th century, they created a Seder, actually, which mirrors the fruit and the wine, and it helps you connect to God's holiness. We're actually going to be doing that here at Temple in a few weeks. We invite everybody to join us. More to come on that. But it's a wonderful opportunity to think about how we impact the world around us. So that's the second New Year. Does anybody have a guess as to what the third New Year might be? Passover. It's not quite Passover, it's very close to Passover. So the first of Nisan is the third New Year. And it talks about, and it is connected to the redemption from Egypt and the creation of an Israelite nation. The Torah says, though, that this month is for you the beginning of the months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. It connects all of our religious celebrations with the Exodus and the redemption. It helps us to connect everything we do back to the tradition of Exodus and redemption. But this becomes a big problem, because if that's supposed to be the new year and it says it's the new year of months, what are we doing celebrating in the first of Tishrei, the beginning of the year? So it becomes a little bit of a Talmudic debate between two rabbis. Now, Tu B'Shvat and the fourth new year, which is on the 1st of Elul, is actually the new year of cattle tithing. That's something maybe in Nebraska, but kind of minor holidays. But there's this debate in our Talmudic tradition of which should be the primary new year. Should it be Tu B'Shvat, or should it be the 1st of Tishrei for Rosh Hashanah? Or should it be the 1st of Nisan? Which is more important? One of them is a sacred pilgrimage holiday that's connected to Shavuot and to Sukkot. The other one is these holy days of introspection. And so we in the modern world really connect, I think, our new year to Tishrei, to Rosh Hashanah. But I want to share with you a teaching from Rabbi Ismar Schorsch, who helps us to understand a little bit about why they're both important. He says, to its credit, Jewish tradition incorporated both. The newer holy days of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur did not overwhelm the pilgrimage festival of Passover. Together, both sacred seasons express the fullness of human need. In the spring, we join with family and friends to celebrate the rebirth of our people. Nature and history converge in a burst of new vigor, hope, and creativity. We have a need to belong, to attach ourselves to something greater and more lasting than ourselves, to find meaning beyond the self. But the self, he says, must not be denied. It must find some sacred solitude within the totality of community and peoplehood. And so we gather again in the fall against the backdrop of a natural world that is the beginning to wither in order to contemplate what the passage of time means in our own lives. I think this is a really beautiful reminder that we have to have the totality of all of the new years as part of our life. We need to focus on community, on history, on our story. We also need to focus inward on what the new year brings to us. And so as we have these questions in our minds, I'd like to ask you to take a moment and set an intention for yourself for this new year, this secular new year. All of the questions and all of the things that we think about in all of our Jewish New Years may come to light as you think about this new year in a secular way. So take one moment, set at least one intention for yourself, and then I'm going to offer a blessing for the new year. This blessing for the new year is written by Rabbi Paul Kipnis. On the next part of our journey into a new year or a new career, as you make a new friend or to your heart you do tend, we wish you bechatzlacha, which means good luck. May your eyes open to the glorious sights that will make your heart beat faster, and may your breathing slow enough to embrace the meaningfulness of it all. May your mind expand to explore new ideas and consider new possibilities. And may your thinking constrict enough to impede the inevitable kvetches and self-deprecating critique. May your sense of self morph and strengthen as you experience what no longer is, but what now just might be. May your awareness of what is and can be expand beyond what was and what you expected. And may the journey ahead be packed with joy joined with serious self-reflection, fullness of family and friends amidst an abundance of insight, inspiration, and more than a touch of idealism, along with love sweetened with laughter and healthy living, working and being. And may you interact with and as part of an increasingly Hamisha community. Thus may you fill your soul so that the journey ahead into the unknown may be exciting, energizing, and absolutely enough. I'd like to invite everyone to please rise as we continue with the Aleinu.